that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
What it means to be modest. To adorn yourself, to cover yourself in modestly. That means that you can't be showing no cleavage.
Right.
You can't be showing your curves.
Right.
You can't be showing anything that would attract sexual attention.
Right.
Because that's only supposed to be for your husband.
Right.
This is supposed to be your husband. So, Lord's will, y'all get married. You understand? But that's supposed to be reserved for only him. No other man should be looking at what you got. You understand? That's how women are supposed to carry themselves. And they would not look at you as a sexual object. Because a lot of women get disrespected based on how they dress.
Right.
Because men won't approach you if you covered up.
Right.
Like my wife don't have no encounters with men approaching her with sexual attention.
Bring it out. Bring it
Why?
out.
Because she's covered. She's not promoting that.
Right.
So when men see women dressed sexually, they thinking of sex. They're like, okay, this woman basically don't have nothing on now, so she got to be easy. Right. But if you put extra layer of clothing on, men like, okay, I see this woman, I might have to come correct with her because I know she's carrying herself a certain way.
Right.
So that's how God wants you to be dressed. You know what I'm saying? It's about having respect for you and your husband.
That's right.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Moses is speaking to the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks and Hispanics. He's speaking to us in the wilderness. He said, if we will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, which is the commandment, read on.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So for not keeping God's commandments, God said that he was going to curse his chosen people. That's right. Is curse is a good thing or a bad thing? Bad thing. So bad thing, he's a punishment for disobeying our God. Because he's only the God of Israel. He's not the God of all nations.
That's right.
Because all nations didn't go through slavery for breaking God's commandments. Only his chosen people did.
That's right.
So how did we get over here? What was the means of transportation? Ships.
Right.
Is that in the Bible? No. 68.
And the Lord, verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Say Egypt again, because when we was in Egypt under Pharaoh, what was our condition?
Bring it out.
Huh? Slavery, right? So God said what?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery again for breaking his commandments.
With ships.
With what?
Ships.
Who went into slavery on slave ships? We did, right? So we have to be the people, because no other people on this earth went into slavery on slave ships. Right? Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So exactly how Moses said it was going to happen, that's exactly how it happened. Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning our homeland, because we haven't been back to Jerusalem. Wherever those ships docked at, that's where we still at. Right? Read on.
And there,
when we got off those slave ships,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Who did this happen to? Who was sold when they got off those slave ships to their enemies?
Bring it out.
What other people outside of blacks and Hispanics did this happen to? So it don't fit nobody else, right?
Right.
So the laws of God only pertains to who? Us.
Right.
If we broke God's laws and we the only ones being held accountable for it, that means that we the ones that's responsible for keeping them.
Right.
So in order to change our condition, we have to come back to God's laws.
Right.
Like today, what's today? Give me that, Exodus. Huh? I'm saying like, is this the first day of the week, the 7th? So what's the day according to God? The 7th day. The Sabbath? The Sabbath day, right? Read that.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So it said remember because apparently we forgot because this happened to us. Right. We gonna read that. But what was y'all about to do? Y'all gonna spend some money today?
I've been learning. I've been watching.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't.
But you gotta teach from example. If you know that you're not supposed to be buying and selling on the Sabbath day, you shouldn't be out here buying and selling.
That's right.
Right, you're teaching our people an evil lesson. You know better, but we got to do better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all learning, but it starts with you. You can't teach nobody until you get yourself right.
That's right.
You understand? Read that again.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So we have to keep the 7th day holy, not the first day. God didn't say that we're supposed to worship him on Sunday. He said the Sabbath day.
Right.
So who taught us that lie? Who taught us, huh? Right, because God said we're going to serve our enemies. So our enemies taught us their depiction of Christ, which is a white man. He's black according to the Bible.
That's right.
So what else did they lie about? The Sabbath day, how to worship God. Give me Judas 5. I'm going to show you why they taught us lies. Because they'll tell you that God's laws are done away with, right?
Bring it out.
But if God's laws are done away with, that means that it's impossible for us to sin.
Right.
Because breaking God's commandments is sin. And there's going to be a judgment day, right? So what are we going to be judged for if God's laws are done away with? Read that.
Judas chapter 5 verse 20.
Bring it out.
Now therefore my Lord and Governor.
Now this is a heathen going over our history, showing us how they can conquer us and what they shouldn't do if we keeping God's commandments. Go ahead.
If there be any error in this people,
So error is sin. So if there's any sin in his people, go ahead.
and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This is how they was able to conquer us.
Right.
Because of sin. And the other nations know that. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
So if we keeping God's Sabbath day, for example,
Right.
but we're talking about all the law, if there's no iniquity, no sin in us, go ahead.
let my Lord now pass by.
So all the nations know this. They still know this to this day. That's why we get paid when? At the end of the week. All the sales are when? Friday night, Saturday.
Bring it out.
Why? Because they want to keep us in sin. Go ahead.
Lest their Lord defend them.
God is only the God for us.
That's right.
And he will defend us against our enemies.
That's right.
If we're not in sin.
That's right.
That's how important it is for you not to be buying and selling on this day.
Right.
You understand that? So you been teaching her? Y'all married? Hebrews 13 and 4.
Bring it out.
You want to keep God's laws, right?
Bring it out.
This is where it starts. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4.
Bring it out.
Marriage is honorable in all.
No boyfriend and girlfriend.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Boyfriend and girlfriend is actually fornication.
Right.
You understand? Because as soon as y'all have a disagreement, y'all split apart. And now y'all have boyfriend and girlfriend with somebody else. That's fornication. You're supposed to marry the person that you're sleeping with.
That's right.
Read that.
And the bed undefiled.
So anything that happens between husband and wife is undefiled. As long as you're not breaking the laws in Leviticus 18, like sleeping with her on a menstrual, things like that, it's undefiled. Go ahead.
But whoremongers and adulterers,
So those having sex outside of marriage, go ahead.
God will judge.
You understand that?
Bring it out.
Do you want to be judged by God? You want to be judged? Judge means condemned, killed. Do you want to be killed by God? So what you got to do? Read it from the top.
Marriage is honorable in all.
That's how you stop God from condemning you.
Right.
You have to get married. If y'all together, you got to get married. I know you're rubbing your head, but you got to step up as a man.
Right.
Give me that what it means to be a man. First Kings. Because as men, it starts with us. That's why I keep directing you.
Right.
Because once you get in order, she's gonna get in order.
Right.
Right. So it all falls on you. Read that.
Right. First Kings chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
I go the way of all the earth.
Now this King David talking to his son King Solomon. Go ahead.
Be thou strong therefore, and shew thyself a man.
Because growing up, we thought that by sleeping with multiple women,
Bring it
that
out.
made us a man. But we finna find out what a real man is according to God. Go ahead.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments.
So what makes you a man? Right. Right. You a man, right? Right. Right. But if you die in sin, are you going to be saved? Right. So we got to be keeping God's commandments now. You can't wait for Christ to come back because then it's too late.
Right.
You understand? Give me Leviticus 21 and 5. I'm going to give you another law. And then I'm going to address my sister. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head.
What that mean? Making baldness upon their head. Not going bald, but you making it.
Bring it out.
Like Michael Jordan, you shaving it. You making yourself bald, right? Read that again.
They shall not make baldness upon their head. Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
So you can't cut into your natural lining of your beard. You can trim it down, just like with your hair. You can trim it, but you can't shave it off.
Right.
Like even me, I'm going bald too. But the little bit that is growing, you're supposed to let it grow.
Right.
You understand? Because God made you that way. You clean in His sight if you're doing it the right way. But if you making yourself baldness, now you in sin.
Right.
That's why a lot of us have those skin conditions when we shave. It be tender, you know what I'm saying? It be bumping up. Why? Because it's never meant for us to do that.
Right.
You understand? Give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
Bring it out.
So you can't be shaving. You understand? Cut it low. Go ahead. You got it?
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So what? Yeah, you supposed to, like, what do men wear that women are not supposed to wear? Right. So you can't be wearing pants. You gotta wear a dress. Like when you look at a restroom sign, how do you know the difference between which one a man can go to and a woman?
Bring it out.
Right. But even in slavery, it didn't matter how hot it was, how cold it was. Our women was in order.
Right. Right.
They had on dresses.
Bring it out.
Modest dresses. Give me that in 1 Timothy. Because I know you probably heard of, I think it's Beyonce that came out with a freakum dress. That's not modest at all. Because that's promoting order.
Right.
You understand? Because it's still showing you your thighs and everything else, right? Read that. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. We're finna show you exactly how you're supposed to dress with your dress on, how you're supposed to be covered. Go ahead. Got it?
Bring it out.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9.
Bring it out.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
What it means to be modest. To adorn yourself, to cover yourself in modestly. That means that you can't be showing no cleavage.
Right.
You can't be showing your curves.
Right.
You can't be showing anything that would attract sexual attention.
Right.
Because that's only supposed to be for your husband.
Right.
This is supposed to be your husband. So, Lord's will, y'all get married. You understand? But that's supposed to be reserved for only him. No other man should be looking at what you got. You understand? That's how women supposed to carry themselves. And they will not look at you as a sexual object. Because a lot of women get disrespected based on how they dress.
Right.
Because men won't approach you if you covered up.
Right.
Like my wife don't have no encounters with men approaching her with sexual attention.
Bring it out. Bring it
Why?
out.
Because she's covered. She's not promoting that.
Right.
So when men see women dressed sexually, they thinking of sex. They're like, okay, this woman basically don't have nothing on now, so she got to be easy.
Right.
Right. But if you put extra layer of clothing on, men like, okay, I see this woman, I might have to come correct with her because I know she's carrying herself a certain way.
Right.
So that's how God wants you to be dressed. You know what I'm saying? It's about having respect for you and your husband.
That's right.
You understand? Read that again.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness.
Meaning you're not supposed to be in another man's face. Like back in the day, your grandparents tell you not to look at a man in his eye. Because you stare at a man in his eyes too long, he gonna start thinking that you like him.
Right.
That's why they always told you look down, don't look the man in his face.
That's right.
You understand? So that's what it means to be shamefaced. Go ahead.
And sobriety.
Meaning to be sober.
Right.
You can drink, but you can't get drunk. And you cannot smoke. It don't matter for cigarettes.
Right.
Because what comes with cigarettes? Cancer. That's a judgment from God.
That's right.
So go ahead.
Not with braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array.
Not saying that you can't adorn yourself to look beautiful, but that shouldn't be your only focus.
That's right.
What club was that at?
Admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
With the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just didn't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation